I'm Stephanie, and today's topic in this video is about Mozart's Inspirational Delicacies. Before we begin talking about what they are, we will be talking briefly about Mozart's life, career, his legacy, and the resulting commemorative merchandise that came from his legacy. The most famous good is the Mozartkugel chocolate. First, let us begin with the definition of public memory. Public memory is the way a society remembers an event or a significant person. They build monuments or remembrances associated with that topic. In many parts of the world, Mozart is considered a public memory through his musical works and his famous pieces, such as Don Giovanni, Così fan tutti, and Eine, Kleine, Nachtmusik. In Austria and Germany, Mozart holds a very special meaning in the public memory of German-speaking communities. They host extravagant events on Mozart's birthday and his death day. Many companies around that area create and name chocolates, alcoholic drinks, dolls, music boxes, and other souvenir goods after Mozart. William Cook's chocolate box Mozart from New Statesman mentioned that when you land at Salzburg's Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart Airport, a bust of the Wunderkind is the first thing you see. Let us begin with a quick biography of Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who was born on January 27, 1756, was Salzburg's most celebrated son and a legendary classical composer. During the first 2 decades of his life, he was raised in a musical family in Salzburg in the mid-18th century. After admiring his older sister, Nannerl, for her musical talents, young Wolfgang, the childhood given nickname of Mozart by his family and friends, viewed her as his role model and began to write music at the age of 3. According to paragraph 4 of Anecdotes of Mozart's Childhood from Spirit of the English Magazines, when he was 4 years old, his father began to teach him, almost in sport, some minuets and other pieces of music, an occupation which was as agreeable to the master as to the pupil. Richard Cavendish's The Birth of Mozart, January 27, 1756, from History Today, states that from the ages of 5 to 15, Wolfgang was in Salzburg for less than 3 years altogether, as Leopold, who was the father of Wolfgang and Nannerl, took the children, and sometimes their mother, on a succession of tours. According to Martin Hatzinger et al.'s Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, The Death of a Genius, from Acta Medico-Historico Adriatica, Mozart spent no less than 3,720 days traveling all over Europe. Wolfgang, now Wolfgang, was an ardent fan of opera. By the time young Wolfgang neared his adulthood, his relationship with his father deteriorated as he wanted to focus on his music career and passion in opera. According to John Rice's Mozart on Stage, from Proceedings of the American Philosophical Society, neither Salzburg nor Leopold were particularly interested in opera. According to Rice, in 1781, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart moved to Vienna and became well established in Vienna as an independent artist. There, he met the love of his life, Constanze Weber, taught music to young Ludwig van Beethoven, and started a family of his own. After Mozart moved to Vienna, he rarely visited Salzburg. He continued his prolific music career in Vienna until his death on December 5, 1791. He wrote up to 600 pieces of music. Hat calculation shows that Mozart lived up to 13,097 days. Hatzinger noted that even though he survived severe conditions such as articular rheumatism, typhus, and even smallpox, he yielded to a chronic kidney disease that 25 years later led to kidney failure and death due to uremia. Mozart's legacy resulted in many Austrian and German businesses naming many of their products after him. Sometimes, business owners named their buildings after Mozart. Let me introduce Maria to you. She recently went to Austria and Germany in January 2022 to see a relative who is stationed in the U.S. Spangdahlem Air Force Base. So, Maria, how did you find out about Mozartkugel?
Oh, when I went to Germany in January of 2022 to visit my aunt, who is in the Air Force. She gave me a tour around Germany, specifically the Bad Reichenhall, where we visited the Weber Mozartkugel store. We toured around Salzburg and visited Cafe Konditorei first and tried the original Mozartkugel chocolate.
Are there any memorable sensory details you experienced inside the cafe?
Oh yes, there was. It was a cold winter day and we were hungry for lunch. When my Aunt Matilda and I were walking down the street, we could smell something delicious and chocolatey coming from the cafe. We followed where the smell was leading us and found the cafe. When we entered the cafe, we saw many chocolate bowls. The sweet smell of pastries and small candies filled the air throughout the entire room.
What did you see?
Inside the cafe, I saw cakes, chocolate pastries, chocolate candies, wine, beer, and coffee on the counters. Almost every item on the shelves has Mozart's name or portrait slapped onto them like a signature label. A lot of cake slices are shades of brown with a pistachio green section somewhere in the middle. Many pastries have the same brown and green color scheme. There are mugs with a portrait of Mozart. Everything inside this cafe and other buildings in Salzburg is Mozart.
In your own words, can you describe the Mozartkugel?
Oh yes, a single Mozartkugel looks like round chocolate balls. A metallic colored candy wrapper with a portrait of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart covers each piece. Depending on the company, Mozartkugel are wrapped in different colored schemes. Some use the silver and blue theme. Others use the gold wrappers with different portraits of Mozart. The portraits of each Mozartkugel from each company vary in style, where some look like a silhouette while others are more realistic depictions of Mozart. Mozart's portraits are different. Sometimes he is facing to the side, and other times he is facing the viewer. The outfits he wears are different each time. Surprisingly, some companies like Weber include Mozart's wife in their chocolates and name it the Concerto. At first, the chocolates seemed like they would be just like any regular chocolate in the United States, just plain sugary. What shocked me so much is that instead of the usual sugary taste associated with candies, Mozartkugel have an actual flavor and a smooth, creamy texture.
What is your first impression on Mozartkugel?
First, I was amazed with the packaging of these chocolate bowls. They're like Christmas decorations with different colors of ribbons, and you can see the picture of Mozart all over the place. The packaging looks expensive compared to other candy packaging that I've seen before. On the packaging are Rococo-style swirls. Sometimes a silky ribbon accompanies the boxes and plastic wrappers that hold the chocolate balls. Since the packaging is so beautiful, it makes me feel too sad to throw them away after eating all the chocolates, so I kept them instead as a souvenir. The Cafe Conditorei, Furs, and rubber stores are like a Mozart museums but with edible items.
When you tried the chocolates, what did you think of the flavor? Can you describe the texture?
Yes, when I took a bite out of my very first Mozartkugel, I was impressed. The flavor is really good. The chocolate balls tasted like a perfect blend between nuts and dark chocolate. I tasted hazelnuts, nougats, pistachios, marzipan, and dark chocolate. The texture is excellent. It is very creamy and smooth. And like most chocolates, they really do melt a little bit from the warmth of your fingers. In my opinion, Mozartkugel taste so good that they are so addicting. I asked Aunt Matilda to take a kugel for herself, and we both enjoyed it.
Are there different shapes of Mozartkugel?
Yes, there are different shapes of Mozartkugel that I saw in many chocolate shops and cafes.
Which chocolate shape caught your attention the most?
The shape that caught my attention the most is the heart shape because I've never seen chocolates being shaped like that. The most common shape that I've seen is the bar shape, but that's only in almost every chocolate that I can think of except the Mozartkugel. Mozartkugel mostly come in the spherical bowl shape. As far as I know, I saw that companies like Heindel and Rubber create some of their chocolates in this heart shape, but there could be more companies that make them.
Since some Mozartkugel chocolates come in different shapes, are there any differences to the flavor?
No, not at all. It's only the shape that is different, not the flavor and the texture. The flavor is still nutty and chocolatey. I would say that the taste of the hard chocolate is exactly the same taste as the spherical bowl chocolate.
What can you say about Mozart's legacy in Austria and Germany?
Mozart is so popular in German-speaking communities. His music is a part of history and greatly influenced many Germans who love classical music. He also influenced some architects because there is an airport in Salzburg, Austria named after Mozart. It is called Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. However, since I am a chocolate lover, when I get the chance, I would love to go back again in Germany and Austria to try other Mozartkugel stores.
I think that is all the answers I need for the interview. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day, Maria.
You too! And don't forget to tell your friends to give the Mozartkugel a try when they visit Germany and Austria.
In conclusion, it is fascinating that Mozart is not only famous in classical music, but his fame inspired the creation of Mozartkugel chocolate balls. It seems like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's legendary chocolate has a flavor of its own that is used in consumable products, which is a mixture of hazelnut, nougat, pistachio, and marzipan covered in dark chocolate. Personally, I have only tried the Reber brand from Germany and the Maître Truffaut brand from France. I did not taste any differences between the two brands. The Mozart chocolates have the same exact flavor. This video briefly summarizes Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's life, career, and legacy. Through his legacy produced the famous Mozartkugel chocolates. Today, Mozart's legacy lives not only through music, but through many things like dolls to music boxes to any kind of souvenir. Earlier, I interviewed Maria to learn more about the Mozartkugel. In a letter to his father in around 1788, Mozart advised this quote, "All I insist on, and nothing else, is that you should show the whole world that you are not afraid. Be silent if you choose. But when it is necessary, speak, and speak in such a way that people will remember it." Thank you for watching my video. Bye for now. I hope you have a wonderful day.